You know, as I travel around the country, I remember one time, it was a couple of years ago, when I was in Minnesota at a Minnesota conference, and they had a place where the speakers could have lunch together, you know. So they had a special room for the speakers, so I was in there having lunch, see. And boy, I mentioned Hanley's name, and they damn near threw me out the room. They didn't like him at all, or anything about him. And they were quite vehement about it. And one of the guys said, oh, he's just working with snotty kids. Those aren't the real seriously behavior problem kids. Kids I saw today, these are the serious kids. So that criticism is garbage. That criticism is awful and unfair. And everywhere I go from now on, I'm going to be even more vehement about challenging that criticism. I know people to this day who say that, who use that criticism quite openly. People whose names you guys know. Well-known names in behavior analysis do that. Well, they're gonna get an argument from me.
So I got to see somebody go from assessment, and by an hour and a half later, we were already in the tolerating response. That never happened. You assessed for days and hours and organized your ABC sheet and came up with all this kind of nonsense, wrote some frickin' report that nobody was ever gonna frickin' read, and it cost somebody $10,000 and you didn't do shit. You never even worked with the kid yet. When you see it happen that fast, and you see that what Greg talks about from assessment to treatment to change that quickly, all on videotape, all captured, it's impressive, and I think it's game changing. So I think that with the individuals you have in large measure, certainly the ones that struggle, the balance of SBT and EFL is just perfectly met.
You guys there's some pretty difficult individuals. I mean, that young lady I saw this afternoon making the Lego blocks. Boy, you don't have to. I mean, if you've been around as much self-injury in your life as Troy and I have, it doesn't take us long to guess what's been part of her history before now. We don't have to see her hit her head to know what's probably happened in the earlier part of her life, and pretty substantially. So, stand up and be proud. The work you guys are doing is amazing. Is amazing. And thank you for your trust in Essential for Living. Sorry, I'll get emotional. It always hasn't been about the mission. Every time he says that, I can hardly look at him. Because we know it's true. It's always been about that. And then with the parents and watching everybody, you know, and I saw a whiteboard this afternoon and it said PFA plus EFL, or SBT plus EFL. Wow, just seeing that on the board. It's pretty amazing. So thank you all. Just stay at it and don't let anybody dissuade you from staying at it. There's always problems with staffing. There's always problems with this and that. There's always those problems. But the way I used to think of it is, if you guys aren't here doing this, nobody else will. Because you are the last stand between many of these people and an institutional setting. I don't think that's exaggerated. You're the last stand. You know, these individuals would have no place else to go.